It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in cinema, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
Also, we have Murray, who's been in training for some new job or something. I think this is his 78th job this year. How are you going to do your taxes this year with all these different jobs, Merman? Are you going to get professional help?
Taxes are easy when you make no money. So it'll be really easy.
All combined, it must add up to millions.
Must be like
I was going to hit you up for a loan.
All combined, maybe $50.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Well, you need a raise.
Well, I don't make Costco money, so.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't know what that means. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And we will watch it if it played anywhere in the world. Now, let's get to raging. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
Oh, baby. Cinema, 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 cinema.
Yeah, you guys went to a lot of movies.
We went to a stupid amount of movies.
But
That's the right word, stupid.
stupid amount. I wish there was 7 more,
Yes. Although,
but there wasn't any more.
no.
We
went to them
literally
all.
saw 5 movies in cinemas this week, people.
Yes. It wasn't the plan initially, but it just sort of snowballed.
Yeah, it was like, what are you doing this night? I'm not doing nothing. What are you doing? I'm not doing nothing. And then it's like, oh, I got to go see this with my better half. Oh, well, now my better half wants to see it. And then it was just like snowball. And then it was like, there's a shark that eats people. And then Murray's like, hey, we can see that together because we love sharks eating people. And then that happened. And then what happened? What did we see first?
So first we saw...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a half shell.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem follows the exploits of 4 young mutant turtles as they navigate through the trials and tribulations of being a youth in this day and age. With the guidance of their guardian, they have learned many martial arts disciplines, and as they navigate their place in the world, they find that these skills may help them to be accepted by a society that has initially shunned them. They meet a young high school student with aspirations to become a reporter who wishes to bring their story to the masses. A mutually beneficial friendship is formed, and this group of misfits bring the best out of each other as they attempt to bring down an evil empire.
Evil.
I feel like I've heard this.
But more simply put, this reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise was just a super cool movie. The animation is amazing, the voice actors were perfect, with Jackie Chan stealing the show as Master Splinter.
Absolutely.
And for the first time ever, this is crazy, the voices of the Turtles were performed by actual teenagers.
By turtle? Oh, sorry.
No,
by turtles.
real
by
turtles.
actual teenagers.
What?
a novel concept.
It's the weirdest concept.
Having teenagers play teenagers. That's like brilliant.
I know, it's like something
It's
we've
not
never
like
seen
some
before.
40-year-old dude doing
Pretending to be a teenager.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. This simple thing added so much more energy to the project than previous attempts. Simply fun from start to finish. Mutant Mayhem was Mondo.
Oh, well, kids shows. Wow. All right, well, here we have another situation where the universe isn't original enough. So we need to reboot franchises over and over and over and over. In most cases, I normally hate every single additional iteration of reboots. In this case, I feel this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film we should have received from the very beginning of its origin.
They finally got it right.
If technically it had been there from the beginning of when the comic was written, I feel this is the version we should have seen. So for that, I'm a little torn. I'm not going to lie.
All right.
If this had been done back in 1984, I think this could have been done like this, but it would have had hand-drawn artwork, similar to what we might have seen in 1984 in anime films from the likes of, say, director Hayao Miyazaki's Nasaka of the Valley of the Wind. Although this film is not hand-drawn, it is fully computer-generated in a style which is that of concept sketch artistry, I think is what they're calling it. This raw, imperfect style to the artwork gives the feel that of original concept of the original comic. Not to say it looks like the original, but has the feel of taking us back to when it shows us the origin story of our turtles in a heartwarming, comedic, and very enjoyable reimagining of this beloved classic comic superhero franchise. Say that 5 times fast.
No.
The writing was quick and funny and had me smiling throughout this entire film.
Yeah.
The turtles are just as they should be.
Yep.
As Bryce has already said, teenagers.
Yes.
Wanting to have a good time, making mistakes, sneaking out when they aren't supposed to. And they're honing their skills to become ninja turtles.
Yes.
Not ninjas,
Mm-hmm.
but turtles that are also ninjas.
Correct.
I really like the version of this franchise. Normally, I'm saying we don't need a reboot.
This was the one exception.
But with the creative team behind this, with the talented voice talents, as well as the writing team and the incredible style of animation, I'm really putting myself out here now. I'm really enjoying the last 2 animated superhero films that we've seen.
Yeah.
This one and the
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. If this is the future of creative animation, I am 100% okay with it. Would I had preferred hand-drawn art like that of the 1980s? Of course I would have. But I think this is a pretty damn amazing computerized version of hand-drawing artwork. Like, when you watch this, you don't get the impression that it is animated through computer. It really does have a real gritty, handwritten like core of it. Like it's like this. It was like they did a sketch art of this entire thing with errors everywhere, but there was intentional errors that you just can't get your head away from.
It was super cool.
I don't think I've ever said this about the original comic that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this was motherfucking Mondo.
It was so good.
I loved it. I loved everything
I know,
about it.
there was not. It was like I'm just watching it, and I did not expect to love this movie.
No, I've never liked any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't even really love the comic. Like I got the comic when it first came out because I was like, this looks fun. Teenage, and it was okay. Like when you think of that and Scott Pilgrim kind of coming around at the same time-ish in that, it's like... but this was so well done. And to your point, I think the voice talents of it was so natural.
And that was the teenagers playing teenagers. I honestly think that just added up something that, don't get me wrong, like the other movies had nothing going for them anyways, but they were even worse by the fact that, you have like these 45-year-old dudes that are doing the teenage voices. Like, why aren't you casting a teen? Because it gives it a different energy. Oh yeah, it really does.
Yeah, they have the camaraderie and the innocence that these characters bring. If you want to see an amazing, I don't want to say this is like, I think it's more like a family film. Like it really is.
Was. I mean, there was some stuff in it where you go, but you know what? Overall, absolutely, you can take anybody.
I mean, there's the goal of our villain, who was fantastic, by the way, Ice Cube.
Oh man, Master Splinter just trying to get his boys not to get milked, man. The milking machine.
Yeah, the milking machine was just...
It was all just so good.
No.
And I gotta say it again, Jackie Chan, man. This was like so next level for him. He was unbelievable.
And you know what was good about Jackie Chan's voice in particular? Was that it kind of, like, if you watch early Jackie Chan, he did not understand any English. Yeah. He just had to phonetically say words. But I got the feeling in this that he actually did, because it was connecting on such a higher level.
Yeah, no, I just loved this movie. Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, so go see it.
No thanks.
Yeah, Murray's not an animation type
I don't do
person.
cartoons.
Well, you're missing out on a pretty big genre.
That's okay. I don't do cartoons.
Well, that's okay. And no one's saying you have to. I'm just saying, if people want to see a cartoon that's good, this is the one.
Plus Seth Rogen.
So that's actually a really good segue into our next movie, because apparently Murray has Shortcomings.
Yes.
Which is the next movie that we saw.
Not many.
Well, I'm glad I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yes, humility is not one of those shortcomings.
No. Exactly, not at all. So, of all the love stories about Japanese versions of a human being so much like Bryce, it's not actually funny. Well, actually, it is funny.
It was funny.
This is the most accurate depiction of Bryce in cinema that has ever been created. I just want to put that out there. If Bryce was a Japanese man born in America, then if you've seen Shortcomings, you know exactly who Bryce is.
You know what? I can't argue with you.
Yeah, me neither.
Guy's a bit of a dick, so am I. And everything else that went along with it.
A love story where every single secondary character falls in love and finds happiness except our lead, who happens to be a self-loathing, reverse racist, and pretty much the most angry, passive-aggressive, and annoying person in any film ever. Yet, his anti-hero charm is still so likable because his sarcasm is so biting and hilarious. You can't help but just absolutely love him for his complete hypocrisy to everything he thinks he stands for. Now, not saying that Bryce is a reverse racism or a racist at all, but in his case,
the rest of it is pretty
100% true. I mean, in this case, he was looking for racism in places it wasn't because of his Japanese heritage. So, the most deplorably written character I've seen since There Will Be Blood. But goddamn, he was still cute, and the relationship he has with his best friend, played by Sherry Cola, and we couldn't remember her name, but we'd both seen her before. Sherry Cola as Alice, and our lead, who is played by Justin H. Min as Ben. This film is completely filled with misdirection. You think it's going to be a comedy. And, well, it actually is a comedy. And then you think it's going to be a romance, which it's not. At least not for our anti-villain, Ben. But it is a romance film. And when you think it's going to travel this stereotypical version of either of these two types of films, it goes in every other way that you would expect it to go, that you just have no clue what's going to happen next. But everything in this is well written, is masterfully crafted, and by the time they bookend the film with what appears to be a satirized version of Crazy Rich Asians. The humor and love and dread in this film as it unfolds is completely satisfying, and it's Mondo. And I have some unpacking that we got to do, but I don't know. Mur, did you get a chance to see Shortcomings?
No.
Subtitles in this,
Some of
Murray.
us had to
There are
work
no
all-
subtitles.
Some of us
Murray.
had to work.
Yeah, that's right. He could only watch, I think, 2 movies this week.
Yeah, I literally worked the entire long weekend,
Attaboy.
12-hour shifts. So yeah, no.
He
time.
works hard for his money.
No, I don't. I
He
just
works
work.
hard
I
for
just
it.
work.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
He
All
don't
right.
work hard for his money.
Shortcomings starts like no film before. It progresses like no film before. It follows no formula, and everything that you think will probably happen does not.
Hey, I had that. I thought that too.
The dialogue is sharp and pointed. The actors are all at the top of their game. Both Justin H. Lim as Ben and Sherry Cola as Alice are mesmerizing throughout. With Ben, we are introduced to a lovable loser who is a little too pretentious for his own good. His relationships are dysfunctional. He has no ambitions. He takes his girlfriend for granted. He has a dead-end job. He takes pleasure in alienating those around him.
See,
And-
this is spelling out just like Bryce.
And yet, I still really liked him and was genuinely rooting for him, even though he did nothing to deserve my sympathies. Alice, on the other hand, is the stereotypical friend that Ben leans on for relationship advice and support. Only she is not stereotypical in any way.
No.
That is the beauty of this film. You will have an idea of what characters are thinking and what their motivations are, but more often than not, you're going to be wrong. Everything plays like real life with no easy answers and no neatly resolved storylines, just flawed, realistic characters doing what they do. This film doesn't judge and just lets the story play out without any major plot twists or dumb reveals. Oh, and by the way, it is extremely funny, sometimes sweetly funny, sometimes awkwardly funny, sometimes politically incorrectly funny, but always funny. Oh, and it also has a perfect ending.
Yes.
I love this film. Shortcomings had no shortcomings that I could see, and that's why it's Mondo.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, obviously the writing in this is so clever, but what do you think it was that caused it for him? Like his character, which made him so endearing, but he really was some form of anti-hero. Because he was really a total dick to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
So why did we love him so much? I don't know.
And the fact is that, like that initial, like everybody sees him from a mile away and they see that initial sarcasm. They see what kind of person he is, but they still gravitate towards him. Like there's no reason to, but yet there's something about him. And I can't put my finger on it because I was in the same situation as all the characters in the film.
Yeah. I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that he is just so funny.
Yeah.
And like there's a scene where you kind of get to really see who he is as a person. Right at the very beginning of the film when they go to this movie premiere and his girlfriend works for a film festival.
Yeah.
Speaking of film festivals, Calgary International Film Festival is coming up
right
soon,
around
so
the corner.
make sure you get your tickets. So they go to this film and they're meeting the director, and afterwards she's like, "Oh, I want to introduce you to the director," and he's like, "Oh, what'd you think of the film?" His comment was just, it was. Well, do you remember what he said?
I don't remember exactly what it was.
But it was basically something like it was epic, or it was an adventure, or something like completely. And then all the way home, he was dissing the movie the whole way, and that's what kind of started the first fight between the two of them. And you get to see kind of who he is as a person, which actually what cemented the fact that it was Bryce. Let's face it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except Bryce would just avoid the question; he wouldn't have answered it.
Would have said,
But we both looked, Murray. We both looked at each other in the cinemas, and we looked at the screen. I pointed at him, and then I pointed at Bryce, and he went, shook his head. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, this is worth checking out. Go see Shortcomings.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of shocked. What's the director's name? I didn't expect this from him. Long story short.
What was? Do you remember something he'd done before?
This is the first time he's directed anything, but he's a comedian and he's an actor, and you've seen him in a ton of stuff.
Randall Park.
Oh
yeah, I like Randall Park.
He's the guy from one of those Asian shows that was on TV.
Yeah, he's in a ton of stuff.
He was in that Seth Rogen film where he goes to Korea too. And he plays the Korean.
Yeah.
I love him. Yeah. So he gets comedy.
And that's the thing. He gets comedy. I didn't expect this from him though. Like, this is just
next level.
This is next level because it's not only funny. It's like completely just biting and satirical, and it just like there's so many layers to what's going on in this. And I realized it was a superior script he was dealing with as well. But man, did he bring it to life. So
this is actually based on a graphic novel.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Like what? This is based on a graphic novel by Adrian Tomin or Tomine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now I want to see this graphic novel.
So there you go. But yeah, no, go check this out. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, and do us a favor. Put butts in seats.
Butts in seats, especially to like good movies, unlike the next thing we're gonna talk about.
I wish I had. No, I don't want it. I wish I had any stock. I don't think cinema's gonna last another 10 years, but that's just me, unfortunately. But anyway,
but you can change that, listeners.
That's right. You can change it by going to the cinema. It doesn't have to be Barbenheimer weekend for you to go see things.
Correct.
Which leads us into the big ticket of the week, which the Mur is going to talk about right now.
Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah, it is.
All right, then.
Well, finally we got to
Could have been your turn and all those other ones, too. You could have chosen to not go to this one and go to one of those.
I could have chosen to not go to work and make money.
You could have done that.
You could have skipped this movie and went to one of those good movies instead.
That is true, but I have to say,
only if you want rages from those last two.
When I looked at our schedule before actually going to see any of them, the only one that I was excited to go to was the one that Murray's going to talk about right now.
And I was not.
Color me shocked again. I was just thinking while I was listening to you two ramble on
about excellent cinema.
I actually could have written down what your ratings were going to be for these 5 movies before the podcast even started. I would have gone 5 for 5.
Okay,
you're not there yet.
Okay, well,
let's guarantee you I would have.
Let's predict. I
guarantee you don't predict my rating of the last one
or the second last one.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea what that one is. But.
Oh. Okay.
Whoa. Okay.
Backtracking.
It's easy when he can say he can predict things before.
Well,
he can predict beforehand.
I'm going to do it next week, and you'll see.
That's easy.
All right.
Okay, anyway, we're going to start next week with Murray's predictions.
I pretty much knew he would hate this.
This is the start of next week, everybody.
Yep. Murray's predictions.
Effective now, it's Murray's predictions.
He's going to tell us what our rating is. We'll see if he's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And I will be.
We'll see.
Meg 2, The Trench.
So, what did you think I was going to give this, Murray, before we saw it? No, okay.
You want me to tell you right now?
Yeah, tell me what you thought I was going to rate this.
I think you're probably going to give
it. No, not what you think I'm going to, because you saw it with me. But what did you think I was going to give this before we saw it?
Before we saw it?
Yes.
Mondo.
Okay, there you go. So,
as was I.
Yeah, there you go. Now, tell us your journey to Meg 2.
Meg 2 continues the adventures of Jonas and his merry band of heroes. See, I wrote this myself, by the way.
Yeah,
I thought it was Meg 2, The Trench.
The story this time, such as it was, centered on his efforts as an eco-warrior trying to save the oceans.
Oh, that's nice.
Complicating things is a nefarious mining company.
Oh, that's not nice.
That is looking for a fortune in underwater minerals and destroying everything in its path.
Yeah.
Bastards.
I think in one of the shots, wasn't there like nuclear waste or something at the bottom of the ocean?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know what the frick was going on.
Oh, yeah, and there were some giant sharks.
Oh, right. Yeah, there was a giant.
So this was a shark movie, right?
I think that's what they wanted us to believe.
That's what was advertised. Because you wouldn't know it by the first 90 minutes, where the megalodons were a mere footnote in the plot. They even had one as a pet. As anybody who's seen Jurassic Park knows, that never ends well. It was captured and held in captivity. Spoiler alert, it escapes.
What's that movie about the killer whale that they try to keep as a pet? And
Willy?
Blackfish? that shows you right there. If you want to
There you
keep
go.
wild animals in cages, they're going to try and kill you back.
Of course they are. Everything you loved about the first Meg movie, the plucky hero, the cute as a button CLF,
I didn't love it.
the love story, people getting killed by giant sharks. That was all missing from this movie.
Oh.
But they did bring back the annoying dog named Pippin, who incidentally was also the dog's name in Jaws.
But it wasn't the same owner.
It wasn't the same dog.
Okay.
No, the original dog was like a
I would imagine
lab
that
or a
dog's
retriever
dead.
or something.
No, it was a little.
This was a little shitty
It was a
poodle.
little rat-like thing.
Yeah, no, the one in the Jaws movie was a big dog.
Oh yeah, no. I
it's-
just mean Meg
Oh,
1.
yeah,
It's not
no,
the
it was
same
supposed
Pippin.
no, it's the same Pippin.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think it is. It's
Really?
the same shitty little dog with the little bow tie on its forehead. At least it was meant to be anyway. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that one died. Who cares?
Who knows?
The kid went from adorable
Someone cares.
to annoying. Talking here.
He is.
The kid went from adorable to annoying. The woman that Jonas fell in love with was gone. And there was hardly a shark in sight. What was left was a convoluted story about eco-terrorism. And all the original characters from the first one that survived apparently joined the Expendables or something. If it wasn't for the last 20 minutes of this film, it would have been a hard rage. Jim and I were so looking forward to this. So this time, another beach. Pippin was there, as well as a bunch of tasty morsels we affectionately call chum. Extra bonus, prehistoric crocodiles. They kill people 25,000 feet below and on land.
Yeah, that confused me.
There was a flash of brilliance, a la Meg versus Giant Squid. I could have watched a whole movie about that.
Was that a squid? I thought
I
it
don't know,
was an
squid,
octopus.
octopus, whatever. What's the
Squidopus?
difference?
It
What's
was
the
a
difference? I honestly
squidopus.
don't give a crap what the difference
One's
is.
longer and the other one's not.
It wasn't good enough to make this a good movie. It was a barely watchable meh.
Whoa, you were being like super generous. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to ruin what I might rate it. Go ahead, Bryce.
Meg 2, The Trench, is 2 movies in one. The first is full of junk science as a crew goes down into an underwater trench where they thought they were the first to go down to. This is going to get convoluted, by the way.
What?
But some
What?
sort
This
of-
movie you're going to tell us about?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, so you don't have to watch it. Underwater trench where they thought they were the first to go down to, but some sort of resources being mined by some folks that got there first by using the technology from the first crew. And there are giant creatures that live down there. And the people running the mining expedition are connected to the research expedition, but the latter knows nothing about the former, and they will kill the latter group to keep on mining.
Secretly mining.
For whatever. And for some reason, a giant shark is broken out of a holding facility to follow them down there. And they end up having to leave their submarine and walk along the bottom of the ocean to get to the mining base in order to survive, because they're going to run out of oxygen.
But
then a bunch of other ridiculous stuff happens, and then it's all grounded in more junk science, and then more ridiculous stuff happens. And they survive as everything explodes and they are chased by giant underwater creatures. Okay, so that was the first movie of the 2 movies that's in
So it was
this.
like a regular movie and then a short, kind of
it was
an
like
extended
part
short.
1. There should have been an intermission after that.
I kind of agree.
The second movie is also full of junk science and takes place at Fun Island, where giant sharks and an octopus-like creature attack the vacationers, but they're saved by Jason Statham as he utters clever dialogue like, "See you later, chum."
Best line of the movie.
This was supposed to be a fun summer blockbuster, but it was not fun in any way. And yes, the CGI was awful, but in no way was that the worst thing about this convoluted series of ridiculous occurrences. That weren't ridiculous enough, I suppose, as that can be fun. But this was not. This was a rage.
Huh. I never saw that coming at all.
Yeah, no, me neither.
So, was this number 2?
Yes.
Of the Meg franchise?
Oh, who cares? Yeah, I guess it was.
Okay.
But it was definitely number 2.
Or the Greenpeace transporter visits the movie of the Abyss, then visits a James Bond villain's lair before landing in Jurassic Park on Fun Island. And I'm putting heavy quotes there because Fun Island did not seem very fun.
It wasn't very fun.
And it wasn't also very fun for me. Well, it has the absolute worst underwater filming in CGI, where you basically have no idea why or what is happening for the first half of the movie, because that's kind of, they're walking along the ocean for half the movie, I guess.
Yes.
I know Jonas.
I usually like walking movies.
I know, but you couldn't see what they were doing, and it was really dumb. I know Jonas, a.k.a. Jason Statham, was a superhero last film, but I don't seem to remember him being the transporter Goes to Sea, where he's an action kung fu star. In fact, I know that's not the case, and I will tell you a little bit of that in a minute. But apparently, this is what he was in this film. He went from being an underwater sea person, which I don't even think he had a title. He was just a guy who knows how to use scuba gear. And in this one, all the fun, and I'm putting heavy quotes there too, that was in the first one is sucked out of it, kind of like the air out of a scuba tank, until they seemingly remember that the movie last time was a partial comedy. So they all of a sudden try to put funny bits in it, like later in the movie. It's like, it's not funny at all for about the first hour and a half. And then they're like, you know what's missing here? We should probably put some funny one-liners and some other stuff that would make this funny. Right? That's what it kind of felt like to me.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, none of that was there.
No,
it was bad. Plus, the science of machinery and the science of biology with underwater sea creatures that can evolve to breathe air in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, what's that?
And lucky convenience fills every
Why were they walking? Why did they have feet?
Action scene. Every single action scene that happens in this has a lucky convenience factor happen. Everything. Every single thing. Because every single one of them should have been dead if based on what they were filming, but none of that happens. It was just like, you know what, they're going to die, but you know what, let's just change the camera angle, and then something falls on the monster, or you know, let's do this, and then oh look, the helicopter blade cuts a monster's arm off. And it was like it was like 65 almost, because if you remember 65 and how stupid it was kind of like, okay, let's just throw something else that was in there.
65 was so much better than this.
Yeah, agreed. 65 had really good CGI. There was 2 funny bits that made me laugh out loud. Otherwise, this entire movie was a hot mess of a Fast and the Furious Goes to SeaWorld episode. And I'm saying is episode because it was almost like a TV show, because there was nothing really of any value here. Where I was angry that there wasn't really anyone eaten in the entire movie. I thought that was going to be what we were seeing. I thought we were going to go see a movie that had people getting eaten by sharks.
The bad guys got eaten.
Did they? I don't remember if they did.
No, they did.
I think they were squished by something.
No, the evil woman got dragged away by the.
Yeah, but you didn't get to see her get eaten. You just saw her get dragged away. She could have been mating with it for all I know.
And the see you later chum, the guy got eaten by the shark.
No, well, it was after he was dead. Like he was just eating chum at that point. Maybe that's what made the line funny. I don't know. The only person by the time this got to the end of the movie that I wanted to be eaten was Jason Statham for making this number 2 of a movie. Or in other words, a poop.
Yes.
Of a movie.
I made the connection.
Yeah. Or, as we might say on Film Rage, as a rage
Yes.
of a movie.
So
There was
bad.
so much bad in this. How did you get this to a man? Like that.
The last 20 minutes. I
Yeah,
really
but it
enjoyed
wasn't. It was.
It was. I mean, the guy they're fueling up the chopper while it's in the air, and the guy jumped out of the chopper at the end in slow motion. I'm like, that shit makes me laugh.
That was funny. That was the
shit
second
makes
part.
me laugh.
That's the second.
That's what
Because
kept
it was
it from being a rage.
Because it was the dumbest scene that
I
I've
enjoyed
ever
the
seen in
last
my
20
life.
minutes. If it was a half-hour film, the last 30 minutes of the movie, it would have been a mondo for me.
If the last 20
would've been
minutes
a
of the movie
rage.
would have been an hour and a half movie, yeah.
That's what I mean.
No.
Yeah, it just
Meg versus the octopus could have been like a half-hour battle. I would have loved to see that.
No.
See, I went back and watched Meg 1 after seeing this.
Uh-huh.
And there was so many good things in Meg 1. I know Bryce is going to
No.
disagree. But in Meg 1, they kind of had a bunch of science stuff at the beginning too. But it was still more fun. And the actual CGI was way better. I don't know what they
the
did.
CGI was awful in this. Like that opening sequence with the dinosaurs and whatnot.
That I enjoyed.
That was awful. But when the Meg comes out and grabs the dinosaur, he doesn't even bite down all the way. Like the CGI is so bad that they didn't do any blood. They didn't do anything. It just came out and kind of his mouth was open. And they just took that image of the dinosaur and put it in his mouth, and the mouth didn't even really close. It was just so stupid.
It
looked awful.
Yeah, this is not a movie to go see if you're expecting to see sharks eating people
Or blood.
or blood. I mean, this isn't even a horror movie. I think it's
just-
more of a.
I don't know what it is.
And I don't understand. Like, were they trying to make a point about Greenpeace? Because that point didn't come across either.
There was no point.
And there's the part. I mean, there's just so many pieces. But the things that got it super ridiculous was those stupid creatures that could now swim.
In case that you guys missed it,
What?
it's rated PG.
yeah, well, no
Yeah, that's the
kidding.
problem with the movie, Murray. That's what we're talking
I'm
about.
not saying it
That's-
was right. I'm just
that's-
saying
that's
you're
one-
part of the-
that's
you're
one
expecting
small
blood,
part.
but it's a
Yeah.
PG movie.
Yeah, but that movies that sharks eat people shouldn't be rated PG,
Well,
and they
that-
should be eating people. But the part where they're having to walk super slow to get to this, I don't know, facility that was built under there, which
Yeah.
must have taken years to build. Like
Yeah.
the entire,
there's no way, yeah.
the entire time it was built, it would have been longer than when the last movie was.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're walking, and then all of a sudden they go, "Ooh, we're running out of air. We should probably run." I'm like, why the fuck weren't you running as soon as you knew that it was there? It was so bad. Every
all-
single science bit in it was terrible.
Yeah, it was just not good. I really, really hated this movie.
Yeah. And I loved the first one. I really did.
So did I.
Yeah. Don't see
Okay.
this movie. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's good
will.
advice.
Yeah, well, a lot of people did see it.
Yeah.
Like 200 million people went and saw
yeah,
it.
well, it didn't do that well.
Yeah, I don't know. This is.
I guarantee it didn't take down Barbie.
I didn't know. God no. I just don't understand why
Actually,
they tried to make it a superhero.
Did it not
action
take
film.
down Oppenheimer? Isn't that what
On
I
the
said?
first weekend it did, but whether
Yeah,
it will take
opening
out
weekend.
Oppenheimer. Yeah, just opening weekend.
Like last weekend, it did better
Yeah,
than
it
Oppenheimer.
probably did better. Yeah, it's because Oppenheimer's been out for 8 and
Well,
9, 10
no.
days
It
before.
took out Oppenheimer's first weekend.
First weekend numbers.
Yes, it didn't take out
and
Barbie's.
that's an IMAX movie, which they charged double for.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah,
and is a million times better. FYI.
700
In
million
your
times
twisted
better.
opinion, maybe.
In 100 billion times better.
I almost raged about that one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But you know what? If you like sharks eating people, go watch
There you
Jaws.
There you go.
That's all I want to say. So we got to see another movie in cinemas. What a surprise! Number 4 with a bullet.
Yeah, we saw Theater Camp.
It's not Theater Camp Mutant Mayhem.
No, just Theater Camp.
Okay.
Theater Camp.
Theater Camp The Trench.
No, not The Trench. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's
What is it?
It's an original piece. It stands on its own.
All by itself. Okay. Well, what is it? What is Theater Camp? Because it sounds fun. I remember going to Theater Camp. Was it as fun as this?
Theater Camp is the story of a struggling camp in upstate New York one
Oh,
summer.
wait. Pause.
Yes.
What did you think he was going to rate this, Murray?
I've got you guys giving it a Mondo.
Okay.
Let's
All
see
right.
what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
The formula is simple, as the camp must perform a successful play to keep it going, as there is a deadline to pay their debts, or they will be taken over by an evil corporation. The story is simple and dumb, and yet it doesn't really matter. What this film is really about is the characters within this simple and dumb story. Their stories are the heartbeat of this film. It is a testament to the fact that if you write really compelling characters, that is all you really need to make an entertaining film. You can have the stupidest ass plot in the history of film. As long as the characters are written well.
Freddy got fingered.
It's just so... Exactly.
Bryce, would you like some sausage?
So, yeah, the lead cast are all very good, but it is the kids they cast that really shine. There are so many sequences in this that had me laughing out loud. It is one of those films that restores my faith in the genre of comedy. At one point, someone in the film says, "People here are weird, but really wonderful." That pretty much sums it up. This film was pretty weird and wonderful and monster.
Murray nailed it. I'm surprised you would have thought that we...
Well, the reason why I think maybe he wouldn't give it a Mondo is because of the sheer volume of singing in this movie. Because you guys don't like musicals, period.
That's not true.
That's
true with him. That's not true with me.
He loves musicals.
You like to put me in a box, but there is no box that will fit me, my friend.
After the
There's a
show,
couple
I
of
want
boxes.
your list of top 5 musicals you like then.
I like The Wizard of Oz. That's a
No,
musical.
not you. Him.
I liked La La Land.
I like a ton of musicals. What are you
I liked
talking
Phantom
about?
of the Paradise.
I like good musicals. I don't
would
like,
like to know.
I don't like crap like Phantom of the Opera. I like good
Phantom of
musicals.
the Paradise, though.
Phantom of the Paradise was okay.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, it was okay.
Paul Williams? Come on. What's wrong with you? Well, speaking of theater camp, take the best things of Christopher Guest.
Christopher Guest. You actually had it at one
I
point.
did,
there.
and then I completely dropped it.
Then you corrected yourself, even though you didn't need to correct yourself.
Christopher Guest's Best in Show.
Yes.
Say that 5 times fast.
Christopher Guest Best in Show. 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 I did it easily.
Wow, you're fucking amazing.
Didn't even miss a
I am
syllable.
terrible at saying. I can't even say it once. So mix in Christopher Guest's Best in Show.
Yep.
Stir in School of Rock.
Okay.
And add a sprinkling of the wackiness of Rob Reiner's film North, and you have the
Sign me
musical, dance, straight gay film
Yes.
that has football, stage fighting, drama, and some of the most fun and fabulous cast of characters to ever show up in a self-deprecating portrait of what in theater business call home, or maybe camp.
Nice.
The humor in this is nonstop, with some of the best writing and true belly laugh comedy that every single person watching with us were laughing throughout the film. Well, there was only 5 of us.
Yes.
We were nonstop laughing, all 5 of us. I can imagine if the cinema was full, how much fun this would have been that all other 3 people, including Bryce and I,
That would be 5.
there'd be so much laughter, you would not be able to hear the screen at times. And the funniest thing about it was they were laughing at some things that we weren't laughing at. And we were laughing at things that they weren't laughing at. So doesn't matter who watches this movie, you're going to see things from a different angle, which I found very refreshing. But ultimately, everybody was seeing an enjoyable film. Let's face it, everyone who knows me, as it's already been discussed, knows musicals are not my favorite genre. Most times I see musicals and the songs are so incredibly awful. As I have mentioned many times before, well, they want to sing about a bagel or something completely stupid. This film, the fact that they were making fun of this actually made it funnier. And on top of that, all the comedy and singing, we get stories of these kids that are both outlandishly stereotypical,
Yep.
but heartwarming, and a song called Camp about Joan
Yes.
still brought tears to my eyes. See what I did there?
I do. Jones
Both from over laughter and because that straight kid came out to his gay parents as straight in a way that melted my cold, dead heart.
Yes.
I felt like the Grinch as I was watching it, as I was crying my eyes out when he came out to his parents as straight. This was one of the funniest films I have seen in years. It brought me back to being a geeky theater kid who also played football and had a great message for all of you. I loved camp as a kid, and apparently I love camp musicals as an adult. This was Mondo. Now, did you get to see this, Mur?
I did.
Oh,
really?
I had to go at 10 o'clock this morning, but I did see it.
Wow. Attaboy.
Okay.
And there
Do tell.
And there were 2 other people there with me.
Huh.
See, why are more people seeing this? Or maybe Murray's going to tell us why.
So another little known fact about me. I've been a theater geek since I was 8 years old.
You must have really liked this.
You did?
I've written and acted in plays my entire life. And drama class literally saved me from being a boring existence in the corporate world and brought me out of my timid shell. So I get it. I really do. I wish they had camps like this when I was a kid.
I went to a camp like this as a kid.
You're in Ontario or something. They didn't have them in Saskatchewan.
I lived in Toronto.
They didn't have them in Saskatchewan. Though performing in 4 different productions at the same time seems a bit much for a bunch of kids.
But they were all cast based on their skill level.
And
camp.
They were super serial.
Can I finish?
Yeah, sorry.
It's camp. Where the hell was the swimming and canoeing and volleyball / softball / games of
That's
tag?
not the type of camp it was.
Camp is camp, no matter what you're doing. Football camp, you still have to like
theater camp.
Stuff.
I didn't go swimming.
I went to basketball camp, and all we did was play basketball.
You didn't do any outdoor activities at theater camp. Not one.
Well, we did outdoor acting in theater camp.
You didn't play at
all.
No.
We were playing. We were play acting.
That would have sucked.
This camp was what I did. I think this was my childhood.
No. I mean, art is art, but they still got to be kids. They're still kids, even if they're outcasts or whatever it is. That they still have to be able to have fun, letting loose.
I'm trying to understand your point.
Well, they need downtime. As someone who's actually been on stage and done performing, they need to shut off once in a while. Otherwise, your brain will explode.
But you did see in the movie that they have kids that are going to this camp to get cast in things like this. This is like a prep. This is like a prep.
A lot of them were actually recruited to the camp.
Yeah.
This isn't something that your mom just comes up and slaps.
I've got money. You can go.
Drops you off.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point.
Okay, that's what I was wanting to get to.
Is as someone who's been involved with theater since I could talk. Even I wouldn't want to be on all the time like these kids were. Like, honestly, I need to switch off once in a while. Like any other thing. If you're an accountant, you can't crunch numbers 24/7. You have to have something else to
Have you met accountants?
Not if you're passionate enough about numbers.
Just saying, these kids were weird.
Sorry, what did you say was weird and wonderful?
Yeah, exactly. People here are weird, but really wonderful.
Theater geeks will love this movie.
Yeah.
There were plenty of witty, original musical numbers and inside jokes.
Yeah.
CLFs exploding all over the place. Unfortunately, I think it's a little too niche for general audiences. If you don't go to a lot of plays, if you're not a theater person, you probably won't get half of this movie. And you'll probably get bored by it halfway through because these kids can be annoying. I get what the filmmakers were trying to do. Anybody who's seen a Christopher Guest film will love it as well. There are flaws, and as Bryce pointed out, the writing is pretty weak sometimes. The plot isn't exactly complicated.
The plot isn't complicated. That's true.
The cast and their eccentric characters more than make up for it. I have to admit, the idea for the final musical production seemed a bit out there.
I know.
Like, whatever happened, like the classics. Like, the ones that everyone else did when they were going through school.
But that's not what it was. Every year they wrote a new play.
They wrote an original one every year.
But they had 4 on the go. One of them was Cats, but thankfully we didn't get to see. But they had 4 different productions they were talking about. And this
there was
the
that
4th.
many kids.
This was the 4th one.
Yep.
Damned if I didn't have a few man tears during the final number.
Nice.
As adorable as the very talented kids were, I disliked pretty much all of the adults, especially the usually reliable Ben Platt. They took the sweetest, kindest character from the Pitch Perfect films and made him a pretentious jerk for like 95% of the movie.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like, because I liked him in the other movies. Like
But you have to-
he had a sweetness about him.
When he's in the new movie, you have to imagine that he's that person.
So if he plays
No,
someone
it's-
sweet that you like, now he has to play sweet for
No,
like the
I didn't-
rest of his career?
No, but like-
or you won't like him?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Okay.
But no, the thing is, like, I didn't like his attitude throughout the whole thing.
Yes, no, I
he's
didn't either,
there-
but that's why he was
He's
there.
there for the kids, and yeah, he was.
He didn't have his-
He's all about himself.
He didn't have-
100% all about himself.
But he had a come to Jeebus moment.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I mean, that's what happened at the end.
I don't know.
Sorry, I just spoiled the ending, everybody.
Anyway, he was kind of like Adam Devine, but in reverse. Who played the biggest jerk in the world in Pitch Perfect, but he's actually a nice guy for the most part.
I don't even remember Pitch Perfect.
I know you're trying
then,
not to.
Then that's your fault. The doofus in charge, the guy with the lisp, with a hat that says brain dead,
Nice.
pretty much sums it up right there. I did have a lot of laugh out loud moments and some nostalgia from my childhood. I just didn't love everything about this film. Entertaining, toe tapping, meh.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I just didn't love it.
Toe tapping.
No need to apologize.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey.
And I don't like a lot
Own
of
it.
versions. If they had done
Just own
I'm
it.
sorry, but I thought this was Mondo.
I know you did. See, that's what I wrote down.
I'm not
like
apologizing.
15 minutes ago.
I'm not apologizing for anything. I also thought this was Mondo. And wait, I don't apologize for anything, I think,
you
and
don't.
feel. Which is the way it should be. All right, so before we talk about the next film the last film we saw in
I have
cinemas,
no idea what it is.
it's called Ransomed,
Sure.
and it's a Korean action film. Murray, what did we rate it?
I gave it a meh for you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Just a hunch.
All right.
Although I didn't know it was Korean at the time.
So now that you know it's Korean, what should it be?
You probably gave it a Mondo.
There you go.
You probably gave it a Mondo. I don't know
right.
about him.
All right.
Interesting.
Is he loves his Korean films, especially when they're action films.
I love my Korean films. I don't necessarily love Korean action
Hence
films.
the meh.
Well, wait. Okay,
Just
so let me
saying.
tell you about Ransomed.
Yeah, please do. I actually need to listen.
All right.
No, you don't listen. You just talk over everybody.
No, I need to listen this time.
Because it's about a Korean film.
Yeah, well, you'll get to why I need to listen when I do
Oh,
my
yeah,
review.
that's... I can tell you why he needs to, but let's just wait for that.
All right.
So, Ransomed, Korean period piece, biopic, action, political spy thriller.
Huh.
Where a Korean diplomat in the 80s is abducted for ransom.
Okay, yeah.
Because they think he's Japanese, but still ask for $5 million in ransom.
Ransom, yeah.
A hard-working but overlooked diplomat named Ming Jun, played by Ha Jung-woo, decides to take the ransom to Lebanon to rescue said ransomed original diplomat.
Right.
He conveniently jumps in the car with a Korean-born taxi driver.
Right.
See what I said there?
Yeah,
Convenient.
Yeah.
Who lives in Lebanon.
Right.
And then the craziness starts. First and foremost, you make a Korean drama, and it's usually 99 times out of 100, it's a Mondo. And they're usually the best dramas that you'll see that year. Make a Korean horror movie. Also, there's a 99
So good.
times out of 100 chance that you make it and it's going to be a Mondo.
Absolutely.
Make a Korean action film, and our odds of awesomeness go down proportionately
Why is that?
to the number of layered genres that are in said action film. In this one, we got Korean period piece, biopic, action, political spy thriller. So if you're doing the math,
That's like 40.
it's not putting a lot of hope there. So there was not a lot of hope
No.
for a 99 out of 100 chance of it being outstanding. Part of it is that, like most Korean action films I've seen, have a tendency to add a lot of little tiny details that you don't always need to be in there. And this movie was over 2 hours long.
Man, it was long.
Yeah.
Although it didn't seem that long to me. But I'll get into that.
Of course. And on top of... they fall into the same traps biopic period piece films have. They are overstuffed with scene after scene of things you know for a fact never happened to make it more exciting. I'm not saying as an action film I wasn't sort of liking the action side of it, but it was too long and too much detail and convenience be damned. Just telling an interesting, true political thriller. I mean, that could have been really, 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 really good. I like the story they were kind of trying to tell. I just wished it was maybe 20 minutes of my life back. At a minimum 20 minutes of my life back on this. And not overly stuffed buddy road movie between our taxi driver and our GI man. It's a Korean film, and for that reason alone, I don't think they have the ability to make a truly terrible film. By American standards, this would have been a Mondo, but as I have higher standards for my love of Korean films, you still get a very low meh. It was almost a rage. Because I was entertained. Don't try and overstuff action films with Americanized ideas. Just stick to the Korean model of filmmaking. Make it awesome, make it original, and make it Mondo. Don't fill it full of Americanized crap, which is what this was.
Right. So a lot of what you're saying there, it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah.
But I pretty much slept through this whole movie.
He did. He was snoring.
I saw it in 3-minute segments as I floated in and out of consciousness. It was the third in a triple header, and my stamina was just not
And
there.
now Bryce knows what it's like to be me. You make me go to 3 movies in one day, and the last
Usually I'm
one is a
fine, but
foreign film with
Now I got
subtitles.
a puppy, and it's
And
killing
you wonder
me.
why I fall asleep.
This
in it.
was full of subtitles too, Murray.
That's what I mean.
From what I
Subtitles,
saw,
11 o'clock at night, I'm sleeping right beside him.
From what I saw, it was just another Korean action film that was probably kind of like the rest of them, just okay. But I can't really give it a rating, as although I was in the theater for its entire duration. I was only awake for maybe 20 to 25 minutes of its over 2-hour runtime. So I gotta
nice
abstain
nap.
from giving a rating on
So
this.
the funniest thing about it, Murray, is that at the end, I'm like, okay, so I know you were sleeping at this point because I heard you snoring. So I told him a little bit. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then I'm like, do you remember this part? He's like, no. And I'm like, that was like the main part of the movie.
Yeah. Then you said, do you remember this other part? And I was like, yeah, I think I can remember that part.
Do you remember
But I think
they're
I saw
running
part
along
of
the
it.
top of the...
And then
No.
he's talking about this convoluted action sequence, and I was like,
It was
what are you-
kinda cool.
I was like, are you actually making this up?
And I probably would have given this movie a Mondo.
Maybe.
Except for the fact that I wasn't going to any movie at 11 o'clock at
You
night.
probably wouldn't have made it through, though. You would
No,
have
it's a
fallen
lot
asleep.
of lot of subtitles.
So the good thing about this was that it not only was mostly Korean, but it was also Arabic because it was in Lebanon.
Yep.
And it was also scenes where there was English with both Korean and Arabic. It was so much subtitles in this, Murray. It was
a
awesome.
veritable
I'm familiar
melting
with
pot
the formula.
Melting pot of subtitles.
of
And the subtitles were all done amazing, by the way. There was times where you had Korean subtitles and English subtitles on at the same time.
It was good.
It was awesome.
Subtitles were Mondo.
There we go.
Rest of the movie I can't comment on because I didn't really see it. But I intend to watch it someday.
Someday.
Well, that'll learn you to foresee in movie.
I actually tried to find it online, and it just doesn't exist.
But wait, he's seen more than 5 this week.
Well, okay, yeah, that's true.
Monster
5
in-law,
in the cinema.
Monster-in-law.
You know, we're almost at an hour already.
I know we are.
We still have
you
half
saw
a pod.
5
We
freaking
still have a
movies.
half a podcast to go to.
Well, mine isn't going to be
Listeners,
short.
get ready.
You always say yours is gonna be short, and then it's like
not.
27
No,
minutes long.
If you had listened, I would have said it's not going to be short.
Oh, excellent. That's
there we
okay.
You don't listen to me.
Nice.
I'm gonna have another nap.
I have a
You
feeling
another
there's a
nap.
Murman Minute
I'll
coming.
wake you up in 10 minutes and I'm done.
All right.
Get me out of this madhouse.
Madhouse.
It's time for me to throw some shade at the direction of the evil overlords at Disney.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Yeah, but I wasn't here last
Pile
week.
on,
I wasn't
baby.
here last week.
Yes, get.
And I am eternally grateful I didn't have to sit through Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Be
God.
thankful.
I don't know if I could have made it through the Eddie Murphy one, but you take him out of the equation, and yeah, there's no way in hell I would have gone through it.
No.
I don't think I've ever watched the Eddie Murphy.
The
one.
only
It's
reason why I
really
would have
bad
seen
too.
it.
You know
The
why?
reason why I would have seen it.
Because it's a theme park ride movie.
Yeah, which I'm not going to elaborate too much on. As people know by now, I'm not working in the film industry right now because
Nope.
of jerks like them and the ongoing strikes, plural. So it gives me an endless joygasm to announce that Disney is the big loser of the film industry in 2023.
What?
Disney owns the MCU, that's Marvel, Star Wars, Avatar, and a huge library of iconic classics.
I'm
Despite-
sorry, why are they losing then?
Despite this, Disney has several big box office failures,
What?
causing the company to lose an estimated $900 million across several underperforming movies.
But didn't they make $3 billion on Avatar? That just made it all back up in one movie.
Maybe James Cameron had an 80% cut of that. Who knows?
Oh.
First off, let's go Little Mermaid.
I watched it last week.
It's
awful.
It actually made a little over $560 million. However, it had a production budget of $250 million.
That's still money.
These budgets don't
I don't know what they
include
spent it
marketing
on.
or distribution,
It looks awful.
meaning that the break-even point is somewhere around 2.5 times the budget. Well, it wouldn't make a profit until it makes over $600 million in the box office. Plus, it sucked.
Yes, it did.
Next up, Elemental. It had one of Pixar's lowest grossing opening weekends in the company's history.
It's literally.
I
the
didn't
dumbest
even
idea.
realize it had been released. I thought it was still
Exactly.
coming out.
It only made $29 million at the box office on opening weekend.
Huh.
It eventually made over $395 million, but it cost $200 million to make it. So it might break even, again, with all the marketing costs. Next up, your favorite, Indiana Jones and the Dial of
The
Destiny.
Dial of Poopador.
It was a massive box office bomb.
Sweet.
It was a train wreck, literally. It was a massive failure, making only $356 million on a budget of $300 million. Once you factor in the marketing distribution, that makes it one of the biggest bombs of all time.
Thank God.
Although I didn't mind it.
It was poopy.
It was the poopiest poop of all the poops.
And finally, Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Box office was an immediate disaster. Their last major movie of this year was summer 2023 was Haunted Mansion. It made only $33 million in the opening weekend,
Nice.
hinting it probably won't succeed either.
Yes.
The budget for that piece of crap was $150 million.
Nice.
And it was a remake of a theme park ride. I believe Jim has already elaborated on that topic.
Yes, I have.
Really, the only successful Disney film of the summer was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Which was good.
There are many reasons for this phenomenon. One of the biggest is overinflated budgets. When a movie costs that much, it has to make almost $1 billion to make a profit. As well, viewers have soured on live action remakes. On top of that, summer 2023 has seen a ton of big budget films. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Transformers Rise of the Beast, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Barbie, and Oppenheimer, just to name a few. Finally, the main reason for the box office failures and that giant rat and his cronies is most of their movies just aren't very good. maybe those high salary executives should concentrate less on making theme park / video game remakes and a little more on good movies. Just a thought.
Yeah, what a thought. Kudos. That's a good list of crap.
It is a list of crap.
Well said.
It's one of a million reasons why I hate Disney.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
My rage is so simple this week. I did probably 7 hours of rage last week, specifically on Disney, Murray. So that was well timed. Let's just keep that ball rolling. But this week, my rage is, if you're going to make a movie about anything that eats people, I want to see it eat some people. That's my rage. Simple. It's my favorite genre, and when you do it bad, it really fucking pisses me off. That's my rage. Simple. Short. To the point.
The Meg versus the Octopus. That's what I want to see.
I can see that in a bunch of badly done movies. I don't want to see it in Meg 2.
That's the best part, those badly done movies.
Summer blockbuster movies are my rage. Having to sit through crap like Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones and The Meg every summer is starting to wear on me. I wish they would focus more on substance and less on spectacle. Why not spend more time coming up with a compelling script if you're going to pump hundreds of millions of dollars into making a film? That is my rage.
Ditto, except the Mission Impossible.
So you're looking for a better answer than because they want to make money?
Yeah,
You
that's terrible.
just had this whole diatribe on these movies not making money, so stop it.
Well, no, those ones didn't make money. The other ones did.
Oh, okay.
Barbie made a shit ton of money.
I wasn't talking about Barbie.
Just saying, it's also a blockbuster.
Yeah, that is a block. He's right.
There's no
Bryce.
way that
Wrong.
they put.
I am
there's
not
no,
wrong.
Yeah,
He is not
you're
wrong. No, it was a blockbuster.
Can't have your cake and eat it too, Buster.
That's right, blockbuster.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right, this is going to be short because we did not pick anything for last week because we didn't want to pick without Mur knowing. So Ellen Burstyn took down our boy Will Patton last week. So Murray has now an updated list and has found us something for next week that hopefully we'll get to watch.
Was I supposed to update the list?
I don't know. You're supposed to pick something out of the list that's...
I can do that. I just didn't update
There you
it.
go. Just don't pick anything with Will Patton because he's no longer alive.
No longer alive.
No. And for those of you who are listening,
Rest in
if this is your
peace,
first
Will
time
Patton.
listening to us,
He's alive. He's just not on the list.
he's living and breathing.
He's no
just
longer
not
mesmerizing.
alive on the mesmerizing list. Go to our website, filmrageyyc.com. Look at our page called The Lists, and it will tell you everything you need to know. Now, what are we going to see for next week, the Mer?
Well, I have a juicy one that actually I was going to bring up last time.
I love Juicy.
I have got Justin Long,
Nice.
who's still on our list.
Yeah.
Only thing I could find him in.
Yep.
And Peter Stormare.
What?
Little ditty called
Jack and Diane.
Happy Campers.
Oh.
And I looked it up. I believe it is available on one of your streaming services.
Nice.
Might be Apple. I'm not sure.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. I can't wait. Because you know what? If Peter Stormare took down one of the greatest actors of all times.
Justin Long?
No, we don't know that yet. Who did she take out? He took out Tilda Swinton. So
Did he really?
if he was strong enough
Yeah.
to take down Tilda Swinton, I don't have a lot of hope for Justin Long,
No.
although Justin Long is pretty mesmerizing.
own.
He's got a certain charm about
That's
him.
right.
does.
So I can't wait for this. I mean, if Stormare brings maybe his weakest game
It's possible.
and Justin brings his regular Justin,
Yep.
I think it's going to be a showdown.
It might have been a young Justin.
What's the matter?
I think he was.
You know, Viola
wasn't that
Davis
young,
was
yeah.
young once too, and she's still amazing at
Oh,
every
believe me,
single thing
she's
she
up
does.
next.
Awesome.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Not doing us any harm.
Last week on Rage or Dare. After the two idiots I've aligned myself with finally figured out what movie Bryce was dared to see, they settled on the 2005 film Monster-in-Law. This week, Jim gets to Casey or Casey. Ooh, I hope he chooses Casey. Now, let's check in with Bryce and see if this movie was the best choice for Jane Fonda to come out of retirement for. Or should she have waited for the upcoming Barbarella remake? Will Monster-in-Law be a J-Lo or a J-High? Let's find out.
All right then. Monster-in-Law stars Jennifer Lopez and Jane Fonda. The script brought Jane Fonda out of retirement as she had not been in a film for 15 years
What?
and decided to make this.
Oh.
Why would this be the film that brought her back to acting?
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. This was all kinds of terrible, but it also starred Wanda Sykes. The mesmerizing for life star proved why she has that title. She was delightful every second she was on screen.
How many seconds was she on screen?
Probably about all inclusive. She was
300?
probably in there for 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
But even her presence could not save a film that had two characters despising each other for the entire film. And then I guess because they were getting to the 90-minute mark of the film, they just kiss and make up in a rushed resolution that conflicted with the first 99% of the film. The film made no sense, and it wasn't funny other than Sykes, who was awesome as usual. But overall, this was a film that felt like a bad script from the 1950s, which made it not only awful, but outdated in 2005. Monster-in-Law was a rage. I'm not going to talk about the performances. They were all bad. Jane Fonda was ridiculous. Jennifer Lopez is annoying as bleepity blank. This was awful. Awful. Yet every now and then I did get to smile while watching it because Wanda Sykes would appear. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God for Wanda Sykes. If there is a God above, Wanda Sykes is proof
They produced Wanda Sykes.
Yes, it was really, really bad.
Wanda Sykes is awesome.
She is so good. Like, she almost made this a mess. She was so good.
Nah.
But it wasn't possible.
Thank God you didn't go there. All right, here we go. I'm taking Casey as opposed to Casey.
Casey at the bat.
Here we go. I've got a Casey in my hand. A handful of Casey in the bag. Ooh!
What you watching? Jim?
Ooh! One of my favorite movies of all times. Casey might have got this one wrong.
Okay.
It is one of the best Batman versions. I get to see the movie Batman
And Robin?
and Robin.
That's the George Clooney one, right?
Yeah,
George Clooney one.
it's the Clune.
and the Schwarzenegger.
You got Clooney, you got Schwarzenegger. I think you got
Poison
Alicia.
Ivy.
You got Alicia
Silverstone.
Silverstone.
And Uma Thurman.
Isn't Uma
Uma
Thurman in
Thurman's
this?
in it.
That's right.
Uh,
And you got the bat nipples.
yeah, and whatever.
And the tongs.
I might be able.
and Chris O, whatever his name is.
You know that song,
Donald.
I Touch Myself? I think that I might have to do that in this movie because I like the bat
Well,
nipples.
until you said that, I was going to come over and watch it with you.
Well, we have two
Although
bathrooms.
with Alicia Silverstone in that tight outfit, I might end.
Oh,
All right.
she's not attractive, but whatever.
Well, I guess I will find
then
out.
her stunt double in that costume was. Put it that way.
Her body stunt
Her
double?
butt double was.
Nice. Well, look forward to that. And Casey usually delivers. So, and it's been however many years this movie is because I haven't seen it since it was in cinemas. So
90s? I don't know.
I just remember Arnold Schwarzenegger was pretty cool.
Yes.
He was cold as ice.
Yes. Yes,
No,
he was.
nothing.
Okay.
I thought you were going to start singing.
Mr. Freeze!
I thought you were going to
I
start
can't
singing.
do his first.
Oh, dialogue was so bad.
It was so good. All right. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to this. We'll see what's going to happen. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the nerdy photographer, a.k.a. the God of Rage, for the voice of Rage or Dare, or sometimes Casey and the Ragettes. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare to see terrible movies to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, put on your bat nipples and please make us rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.